quality programming all around the clock. With us, every second and minute counts. When it comes to bringing you the best of programming on radio, Diamond 88.7 FM remains your best bet. Be it sport, talk radio, entertainment and music. One thing is certain, we've got you.
On Diamond 88.7 FM, we give credible, factual, balanced reports at all time. Join us as we take you around the globe on the world news. Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin, your shining supreme station.
From the news desk of Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, this is news around the world.
In the headlines, President Tinubu meets with governors over minimum wage. Senate debunks new presidential jet request. ASU president slams governors establishing varsities on the foreign scene. Kenyan citizens give President Ruto 48-hour ultimatum to resign. In business, Nigeria requires 348 trillion naira to address infrastructural deficit. On entertainment, Heidi Kabasa says marriage is not designed to give happiness. And in sport, International Boxing Association President visits Tinubu. Good evening and many thanks for joining us for the news across the world on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. I am Joseph EMERIBE. You can listen to us via our website www.diamondfm.net or watch us live via Facebook at Diamond 88.7 FM. You can also download our app on Play Store, Diamond 887 FM. We'll bring you details of the news after the short timeout. Do stay tuned.
Who be this person with the text me now? Oh, Bolan. Oh, me I go quick check am. I go text you later.
That's what can happen if you take your eyes off the road. Texting or using your phone when driving is very dangerous for you and other road users. Keep yourself and other road users safe by staying off your phone when driving. We need you alive.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
You're welcome back. Now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima today met with governors of the 36 states of the Federation and ministers to deliberate on a new minimum wage for workers in the country, as well as other economic matters. The president and the governors met at the 141st meeting of the National Economic Council, which took place in the council chamber of the State House in Abuja, the nation's capital. The vice president chaired the meeting with state governors, deputy governors, and ministers before the arrival of the president. And today's meeting comes about 2 days after the Federal Executive Council stepped down a minimum wage review memo to allow for more consultations. Still with the nation's seat of power, the Senate has today denied approving the purchase of a new presidential jet for President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima, as speculated by the public. Senate President Godswill Akpabio, while clarifying this during plenary session, corroborated the observations raised by the leader of the Senate, Senator Kweyemi Bamidele, that the Senate claims to give backing towards procuring a new presidential aircraft. He clarified that there is the presence of a fifth columnist doing everything possible to destabilize the parliament. Moving on, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has stated that some private aircraft operating in Nigeria are being used for money laundering, drug trafficking, and other illegal activities. Keyamo made the revelation at the Ministry of Aviation in Abuja today when he inaugurated a ministerial task force committee to checkmate illegal chartered operations in the country. Though the minister did not mention the names of the airlines, he asserted that these illegal activities have made the sector lose billions of dollars and raise serious security concerns. The minister further stated that some of those involved in the illegal activities are those who acquired licenses for non-commercial flight operations but have gone against the stipulated agreement over the licenses. Elsewhere, the House of Representatives has today granted the President power to continue the implementation of the capital component of the 2023 budget and the 2023 supplementary budget till the 31st of December 2024. The passage of the two bills will be the third time the lifespan of the capital component of the budget and the supplementary budget will be extended. The lifespan was first extended to the 31st of March 2024 and later extended again to the 30th of June 2024. Leading the debate on the two bills, the House Leader Honorable Julius Ehove-Barre described them as straightforward and aimed at ensuring the completion of all ongoing capital projects captured in the two documents. However, the minority leader of the House, Kingsley Chinda, argued that while it is legally okay to extend the capital component of the budget, it is morally wrong to have about 4 budgets running simultaneously. He argued that while they are not against completing capital projects in the budget, Nigerians are bound to ask questions on why the government should be extending the lifespan of the 2023 budget. Moving on. The Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas (PCNGI) Program Director Michael Oluwagbemi has today announced a 50% conversion cost reduction for transporters, represented by Tosin Koka during the stakeholders event of the PCNGI and Portland Gas in partnership with Naseni in Abuja. He stated that the initiative is boosting the sector by supporting the introduction of CNG buses and tricycles. He further highlighted that in an effort to reduce the cost of public transport, the sector is being catalyzed by supporting the introduction of CNG buses and tricycles. He therefore stated that in the next few days, Nigerians will witness CNG buses on the streets of Abuja, even as conversion kits are being made available at a 50% discount to the transport sector. And to update from ASU, the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Emmanuel Osodeke, has slammed governors for establishing state universities they cannot fund, alleging that most governors duplicate universities in their state to get a piece of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. Osodeke stated this while fielding questions from journalists on the Channels Television this morning. He disclosed that though the TET Fund is meant to be an intervention fund for public universities, politicians and civil servants have made it as a cash cow to be milked dry through shady procurement processes and contract fund. The ASU president further disclosed that a structure should be created to carry stakeholders along in the process of how the money is allocated and spent in an open and transparent manner.
Any governor today establish a university is eyeing TET fund as a source of funding. Federal government established university like it was done in 13 universities in the same day. They are all funded by TET fund, which is our product. If we didn't do that, we would not have it today. So we are very proud of our struggle. But the struggle is still not over yet. If they have implemented all those things we agreed on, we will not be where we are today. But like I said, they are not interested because their children are not here. Their relations are not here. When you take the average budgetary allocation to education in West Africa, the least country, apart from Nigeria, is 15%. But we give between 4 and 7%. The giant of Africa give between 4 and 7%.
That's the voice of Professor Osodeke speaking on the struggle of ASU. The news across the world is reaching you live from Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. We now move on to the foreign, and after break, we'll give you foreign business, entertainment, and sport news. Please stay tuned.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond87FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
We are glad to still have you there. Now we move on to the foreign scene. On the foreign scene, outrage has continued to spark in Kenya as citizens of the East African country have given President William Ruto a 58-hour ultimatum to step down, demanding a new government committed to transparency, accountability, and good governance. The call for resignation has gained significant traction, with a viral Twitter statement saying, "We no longer recognize William Ruto as the president of Kenya. We call his presidency and urge him to immediately resign and surrender his office to the Kenyan people." End of quote. This statement has generated lots of engagement, reflecting widespread discontent, regardless of President Ruto retracting a controversial financial bill that proposed tax increases. Public outrage continues to prevail. Away from Kenya, defense chiefs of West Africa have today proposed a plan to deploy a 5,000-strong standby force to fight the region's worsening security crisis, a measure that analysts say might not work due to challenges of funding and division within the regional bloc. According to Nigeria's Defense Minister Mohammed Badaru, the plan, which will cost $2.6 billion annually, was proposed to heads of state at a meeting of defense officials in Nigeria capital, Abuja. The plan was also aimed at preventing further coup following a string of military takeovers that have destabilized the region. President of the regional bloc of ECOWAS Commissioner and Commissions Omar Ali Toure highlighted in today's meeting that West Africa is at a pivotal moment in the history of the community in addressing insecurity. He therefore urged member states to support the force. Their proposals, however, expected to be considered at the upcoming summit of regional heads of state.
Diamond FM Business News.
Away from the foreign scene and on to business, the Director General Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission (ICRC), Michael Ohihane, has stated that Nigeria requires 348 trillion naira to address infrastructure deficit in the country. He spoke during a presentation at the second quarter 2024 Nigeria Public-Private Partnership Network, a meeting in Minna, Niger State, under the theme Using Private-Public Partnership in Infrastructural Delivery in the State to Ensure National Food Security and Economic Growth. He said going by the medium-term development plan, the private sector would be able to provide the chunk of this investment to the tune of about 298.3 trillion naira, while the subnational government can provide 49.7 trillion naira. And that's it from the business world. Up next is entertainment news.
Diamond FM Entertainment News.
And in entertainment, veteran Nigerian record producer Olumide Ogunade, popularly known as Idi Kabasa, has sparked a controversial conversation about the institution of marriage. He argued that the true purpose of marriage has been forgotten, maintaining that it is not about happiness or emotional satisfaction. According to Idi Kabasa, marriage is about fulfilling a divine purpose with God at the center, emphasizing that submission is a crucial element, often misunderstood as surrender.
In the place of marriage, God, then there's the man, then the woman, then the kids. So even God creates in marriage, the purpose of marriage, unfortunately, has been lost. God, people have to hear me very well. I won't be misquoted. I will say that the purpose was not to give you happiness.
What?
The purpose was not to give you happiness.
The purpose of marriage is not to give happiness.
The purpose was not to satisfy your feelings.
Voice of Idi Kabasa speaking on the institution of marriage.
Diamond FM Sports News.
And in sport, the president of the International Boxing Association, IBA, Umar Kremlev, has expressed his readiness to improve the state of Nigeria's boxing gyms across the country. Kremlev made this known when he visited President Bola Tinubu in Abuja, where he extended his support for the initiative and has endorsed the idea of organizing a boxing tournament as early as August. He promised to reconstruct the dilapidated state of the gyms with leaky roofs and damaged floors and walls due to the rainy season, recognizing the importance of boxing as one of the most popular sports in the region. The president aims to ensure that the necessary infrastructure is in place for aspiring boxers to train and excel. Still in sport, Nigerian midfielder Tom Dele Bashiru has signed a contract extension over 3 years at English football club Watford. The former Flying Eagles playmaker's previous contract, which was due to expire in 2025, will now see him remain at the Vicarage Road until 2028. Recall that the 24-year-old linked up with Watford from Manchester City in 2019 and has had a series of injuries which had largely disrupted his time at Watford before last season. And with that, we've come to the end of the news across the world. But before we go, here is the recap of the major highlights as brought to you. We told you earlier that President Tinubu meets with governors over minimum wage. From the National Assembly, Senate debunks new presidential jet request. And in ASU president slams governors establishing varsities on the foreign scene. Kenyan citizens gave President Ruto 48-hour ultimatum to resign. And in business, Nigeria requires 348 trillion naira to address infrastructure deficit. In entertainment, Heidi Kabasa says marriage is not designed to give happiness. And in sport, International Boxing Association president visits Tinubu. And before we call it a wrap on the news this evening, did you know that on this day in 1994, Nigerian educator and author Augustus Taiwo Solari, popularly known as Tai Solari, died at the age of 74? Now, you know. For news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact them on the firm newsroom on 0916 062 7526. You can reach us via 0916 062 7526. The news was compiled and edited by Nedu Okorie, and I am Joseph EMERIBE. Many thanks for choosing your shining supreme radio station. Do stand by for the news in Yoruba language. Good evening.
For up-to-date news reported across the globe, be rest assured you're on the right radio dial. Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, your shining supreme station.
I'm in love. I'm obsessed. And I don't even feel guilty about it.
Obsessions are not always bad, especially when it's an obsession with your favorite radio station, Diamond 88.7 FM. We're obsessed with enhancing your radio experience. Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.